So my name is Kristen McMahon. I am the new president of the Robert H. Jackson Center. And before we begin our program today, we have a very special award to give. So we had run a contest, the Young Readers Award, and one of our recipients is here with us today, Cade Anderson from the Warren Area School District. So please give him a round of applause. And now I'm going to ask Mr. Jeff Kresge to introduce our featured speaker.
My name is Jeff Kresge. I serve as the Social Studies Curriculum Coordinator for Jamestown Public Schools. I first met Allida Black over a decade ago when she came to speak to a bunch of social studies teachers in summer. I quickly realized that Dr. Black was everything that you'd want in a teacher. She's knowledgeable, she's energetic, she's passionate, and she's engaging. She made history fun, which is sometimes a challenge. And she wanted to know about us, the students that she had that day. But after she was lecturing, she did something that's very rare indeed. She didn't leave. She actually stuck around day after day after day. She wasn't invited. She just kind of crashed the party, which was awesome.
I'm bad Velcro, honey. I never leave.
And so I thought, you know what? This is a woman who really loves to learn. And so I found out a lot more about her. She's an expert on everything. From anything from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to life at Hogwarts School of Magic. From the presidency of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia to, we have this in common, Tennessee women's basketball under the leadership of Pat Summitt. She is an expert in Eleanor Roosevelt because she is the founding editor of the Eleanor Roosevelt Papers. But most importantly, she exemplifies what all teachers want for their students. Allida Black is driven to learn, to experience, to understand, and to share. And today I can't be more excited to share my friend with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the holder of a bachelor's degree in political science from Emory University, a doctorate from the George Washington University, human rights advocate, scholar, and my friend, Dr. Allida Black.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Love you, dear.
Love you too, honey. Woo! Rule number one, if you don't want to be embarrassed, don't have a friend introduce you. Hey, everybody. Man, it's packed. I'm so happy. Okay, but we're going to have to figure out how I can see the faces in the back row. So you guys are just going to have to be really loud, okay, when we get to the shouting stuff. Okay, so wait a minute, I got questions before we let it loose. How many of you have read the books? Okay, Harry Potter. Okay, how many of you have seen the movie? Okay, how many of you were rookies? Okay, I'm going to hook you, I'm going to hook you, I'm going to hook you, I'm going to hook you. And I am too jealous for words. Because those of you who do not know this are in for a treat that you cannot possibly imagine. It's just, I don't know the words. It's magical, it's joyful, it's brave, it's scary, it's, oh my God, I can't put it down, what's going to happen? Or, oh my God, I don't believe they did that. So it is totally cool, okay? So just think about this today as like a teaser for why you got to read the books. Because in no way am I going to do justice to 7 books, which I've read 4 times, which means I've read 28 Harry Potter books, and I have watched the movies more times than should be allowed by law. So with that as my sort of entree, I want to know from you what we should start talking about. So I got to get a feel for who you like. Okay, so we're going to start with the big 3 first. How many are Hermione people? Oh, I want noise. How many are Hermione people? Okay. How many people are Ron people? How many people are Harry people? Okay. How many people are Draco people? Oh, I'm so happy no Draco. Okay, so how many people are Voldemort people? Oh, okay, well that's good. You know, at least they got the guts to admit it. We're win them over, but they got the guts to admit it. Okay, my favorite one. How many are Hagrid people? Yay! Okay. How many are Dumbledore people? Okay. How many people are Snape people? Okay. Now, I know the answer to this, but I got to ask it anyway. How many of you are McGonagall people? Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, you said that. I'm putting on my McGonagall robe. Okay? You think I'm teasing, right? Okay, so while I am trying to be proper, which is always a struggle for me, how many of you are in Gryffindor? Okay, how many of you are in Hufflepuff? How many of you are the Brainiacs in Ravenclaw? Okay, and how many of you are the shrewd snakes of Slytherin? Okay. Okay, so now we have the ground rules here. Let's, whoops, and I try not to fall and kill myself. Let's talk about Harry Potter. I'll trip over it in a minute, I guarantee you, so don't kill yourself laughing yet. The night is young. All right, so, you know, Hogwarts is really a great human rights story. Okay, I can hear your brains get turned off right now, so just bear with me, okay? Ron, Hermione, and Harry are all trying to figure out how to be comfortable with each other, how to become friends with each other, how to build a school that is welcoming to them and their friends, and how to figure out how to build a world that they want. And the reason that I am just puppy dog crazy about Harry Potter is that it's about you. It's about your visions. It's about your courage, your dreams for the world that you want to build, and how we can work together to do that. And what you can teach me and what I can share with you that will help us understand what magic is. Okay? Magic is not something that just shoots out of a wand. You know, magic is not some Hollywood set. Magic is your imagination. It's what gives you the courage to risk. It's the courage to have empathy, to think about what other people feel. Somebody give me an example of what empathy means. Come on, shoot it out. Huh? Okay, when somebody's sad and, you know, you try to help them. When somebody is joyful, you try to help them. When somebody's embarrassed, you try to help them. When somebody's in pain, you try to help out. When somebody's being bullied, you try to reach out, right? Okay, so what Harry and Ron and Hermione and all of their friends at Hogwarts, what they see is they see the world as it is. And they understand how the world is changing, so they see the world as it was, right? You know, because your life changes all the time, right? You make new friends, new things happen in the world, right? But what they also see, and this is the true flippin' magical part, they see the world as it could be. And so as the attacks on their friendship, and the attacks on those who love, and the attacks on the joy of Hogwarts intensify, as the Dark Lord comes back and moves from a shriveled old little baby doll into this man that looks like a snake and, you know, with death and the slit eyes, you know, and, you know, he can't even smile, for God's sake, right? and he talks like this. He can't even have a full voice, right? So they understand on a really gut level what that means for them and the people that they love, and what that does to the world that they think is Hogwarts. They see how their school is changing, and they don't want to go down that way. And so I think this is an extraordinary story of kids saving the world. And I just don't mean Dumbledores Army. I just don't mean the Order of the Phoenix. I just don't mean you go out there and you win the House Cup. I'm talking kids find out what they believe and they defend it. And I think that's probably the coolest thing on the face of the universe. And so how does that relate to Harry Potter? How do rights relate to magic? Well, I just want you to think about these crazy pairings, okay? And the fundamental choices that you have. You could be Hagrid or Horcrux. You could be Hermione or Tom Riddle. No, you could be Draco or Dobby. You could be a wizard or you could be a muggle. Boy, I did that wrong, didn't I? Boy, that was the exact opposite point I wanted to make. You should have been in the morning. I was much better in the morning. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that what human rights are really is a battle between the Dementors and the Patronuses. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, or do I need to tell you? Okay. Yes, I need to tell you, or no, I don't need to tell you? No, you got it? Okay. Okay. The Dementors scare the patooties out of me. I mean, I think the Dementors are the scariest things that I have ever really thought about. I mean, I want you to think of your happiest day, man. The day when you were like, whoo! You know what I mean? Just when you're walking around and you're like, man, I nailed this, I just got it. You know, whether it's school or sports or, you know, you got the date you wanted or, you know, whatever. You got it. And then this cloud comes over you and it sucks out all your joy and all your hope. And it leaves you a shell that's unable to move. I'm not talking about some HBO hot zombie, you know, that can walk around like this. I'm talking about somebody, you know, something that where you're catatonic and all of your hopes are gone. You know, you're empty. And that's what happens when fear overtakes you. And when fear comes in, that's what undercuts joy, right? When you're afraid, can you be really happy? No, you can't. And the glory of Ron and Harry and Hermione and Luna and Neville and Seamus and even Draco, you know, and Jenny Weasley and, you know, Cho Chang. I mean, all of them find the courage to be joyful and have that joy in their hope, sort of manage that fear so that they can move forward and really make the world they want. And I just think that is an extraordinary act of courage. So how does this relate to you guys? You know, how does this relate? Well, let's start with Harry. At the end of Harry 2, Dumbledore says to Harry, you see, Harry, it's really about the choices that you make that say who you are. It's not your achievements. It's not the House Cup. It's not capturing the snitch. It's not killing the snake or finding the diadem. It's about the decisions to do that action and to take those risks. And, to do that, it's not just a gutsy thing, it's a terrifying thing. I mean, think about it. Okay, we're all coming in and we're not on a tier going up this way, right? We're all sitting on tables rather than rows. We're all in the Great Hall, okay? And Dumbledore's behind me, and McGonagall, and all the faculty of Hogwarts. And here, right here, is the stool with the sorting hat, okay? And one by one, all of you come down, and you sit on the sorting hat. And what does the sorting hat say to you? The sorting hat says, listen closely to my song, though condemned I am to split you, still I worry that it's wrong, though I must fulfill my duty, and must quarter every year. Still I wonder whether sorting may not bring the end I fear. Okay? All of you are going to be put in the 4 houses of Hogwarts, right? Gryffindor. Oh, come on. Give me a little thing back here. Okay. Gryffindor, I'll rev everybody up. Slytherin is second. Then we'll do Ravenclaw, and then we'll do Hufflepuff, right? Okay. So all of these houses have different characteristics. If you're Gryffindor, you're brave. If you're Ravenclaw, you're really wicked smart. If you're Hufflepuff, you're loyal. And if you're Slytherin, you're shrewd like a snake. Okay? So the trick to this is you have all of these people that have these characteristics, right? And they're put in these 4 different houses. And you wear different set robes. I have red for Gryffindor. Slytherin's green. Hufflepuff is yellow. Ravenclaw is blue. Okay, so we have all of these, you're all marked. But you're all in the same house together. You're all in the same school together. You're all in the same classes together. But you compete, right? You have the house cup. And I was teasing kids this morning that was like, okay, I asked who wanted to win the house cup. Nobody's like, I said, okay, how about this? Which school, let's make it a house, wants to succeed so beautifully that there are no finals, school gets out a week early, and you get ice cream every day at lunch? Everybody wants that, right? Okay, now think about the energy that you would exude to do that, right? Man, you want to beat these jerks. You want to get out. But how can you build an environment where you can do that and get along? And how can you build a school where kids are so different and come with different things? I mean, Harry is an orphan. He's a foster child by his aunt and uncles who can't stand him. They think he's an embarrassment. They hide him in a cupboard under the stairs. And his pig of a cousin decides to jump up and down on top of the stairs and have all the dirt fall in his bed, right? Harry's got to cook. Harry's got to clean. Harry gets hit. Okay? Harry could have turned into that. But Harry doesn't. And Ron comes from a very poor family who wears hand-me-down clothes every day. His wand breaks, his most important thing in school. They don't have the money to get it fixed. And his pet is a hand-me-down rat. Okay, boy, that's fun to go to school with, isn't it? A hand-me-down rat, But Harry and Ron overcome all that. They become friends. Hermione, stratospherically smart. You know, the brightest witch of her age. Her parents are non-wizards. So she's different. She's at Hogwarts, she's brilliant, she's brave, and she's not wizard born. And everybody's going after her for not being wizard born. But the three of them find a friendship that survives incredible sadness, betrayal, cowardice, and they come back. And they come back together because they refuse to be broken. So what does that say about human rights? And what does that say about your ability to lead? You know, give me just a second to deviate from Harry and talk a document. And I can hear you go, oh my God, it's going to do a document. It's going to be totally boring. Okay, so give me 60 seconds. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights says one thing that is the story of Harry Potter. And that's Article 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and in rights, and should treat one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Period. Okay, so what does that mean? Who are all human beings? Okay, who are people? Well, who are human? Are women human? Are girls human? Are men human? Are boys human? Are parents human? Are teachers human? Now listen here. Come here. I'm putting my cloak on teachers. Okay. But this is the first time in the history of the world, guys. The first time in the history of the flipping world. I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands of years that somebody said this. And J.K. Rowling takes that principle and she gives us 7 of the most extraordinary books that have ever been written, because they all say one thing: that imagination is magic. And without imagination, fear will come over and suck all our joy out. You know, just imagine that. You just think about you were going into a big sporting event, or a major test, or you're moving into a new apartment, or you're going to a new school, or you're meeting somebody, you're spending time with somebody that you really want to get to know. Something that is really important to you. You know, when you have that knot in your stomach, you can either give in to that knot or think about how you can get through it and how great this can be. And so to Rowling, who wrote Harry, imagination is what will keep the world safe. She says, without imagination, there's no invention. You're not going to make anything, right? And there's not going to be no innovation because you can't put it to use. But the most important thing she says is that without imagination, there is no empathy. And if people don't have empathy, what are they? What's empathy? Go back and think back what I asked you a minute ago. It's compassion, right? It's the ability to think how somebody else might feel. Okay? Rowling says, and the whole point of Harry Potter is that if people don't have empathy, they are the real monsters. And monsters in Harry are the ones who destroy human rights. Not Hagrid's monsters, not Buckbeak, not Aragog, not Fluffy, not the three-headed dog. Voldemort and the Death Eaters are the monsters. Because they prey on hope, they prey on people so they can get stronger. And so if you look at Harry, you see, and by Harry I mean everybody at Hogwarts. If you look at that, you'll see that they, as Emma Watson, who played Hermione, said to the UN when she addressed the United Nations, what she learned from Harry is, if not me, who? And if not now, when? And so I am here to ask you to think about Harry, not as this great joyful jaunt through the world of wizardry, but to think about the own magic that is inside you, the courage that you have to find your own voice, to step up and fight the Death Eaters. And how do you do that? Okay, well, Rowling shows us how to do it. When Sirius Black, Harry's godfather, is almost being killed by the Dementors by the lake, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, Sirius is flat on the ground. He's being attacked by all of these flying monsters that suck out his joy, suck out his soul, just like you suck out air, okay? It's like he's being suffocated but still alive, and all his joy's gone. Does that make sense? Okay. So Harry is trying to save him, right? He's down there, and he looks across the pond. And what does he see? The Patronus. His Patronus, okay? And the Patronus is, you summon it. And it's sort of like your soul armor, if you will. But the thing that gives you courage is to remember the happiest moment of your life. The thing that just makes you go, oh, Lord, yes. I mean, jump up and go, yes. That one thing where it was just like, man, I nailed it. This is the greatest thing I have ever done. Boom, right? When you were the total happiness. And you do that, and you summon it, and you stick your wand up, and what do you say? Expecto Patronum. So I want everybody to stand up. Everybody stand up. Okay, everybody put your wands up. Okay? Everybody think of something gloriously happy. Okay? At the top of your lungs. 1, 2, 3. Expecto Patronum. Oh, that's lame. Lame. We're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3. Expecto Patronum. All right. So you're laughing, right? You're having a good time. You're also thinking I'm an idiot, right? Okay. So, how does it think about this? Think about that, that rush that you felt when you did that. The hope that you feel. That is why J.K. Rowling wrote Harry. Sure, she wants to give you a great bedtime story. But what she wants you to feel is the power of your own voice, the power of your own dreams, the power and the glory and the courage of your friendships. And how, if you look at this and what it gives you, think about what it can give to the world. Witness Hermione and Dobby. Okay? Dobby, poor Dobby. I love Dobby. Okay, so Dobby is a house elf. He's enslaved teachers and parents, for those of you who don't know this. And he not only gets beaten by his masters all the time, he beats himself on the head with a lamp for not being good enough. You know, poor Dobby. Okay, and so, but Dobby is brave and essential and a savior, because Dobby understands what it takes when you see the power of friendship and what that can do to stand up to evil. And Hermione sees that because when she found Spew, you know, the society to prevent elf welfare, that everybody mocks her. Okay, well, Harry and Ron join, Neville joins, Luna joins, Hagrid joins, and what does she say? You have the right to wages. You have the right to clothes. You have the right to sleep. You have the right to speak your mind. Nobody has the right to beat you. That is a fundamental human right. In fact, that's 7 of them altogether. And so when Hermione recognizes the humanity of Dobby, and Harry begins to see Dobby not as a pest, but as a pal, they look at Dobby as a friend. And they help Dobby get free. And what happens to Dobby? And what does he do? He saves Hermione's life. He saves Harry's life. He saves Luna's life. And who does Dobby, this tiny little slave that people wanted to treat as a puppet, stands up to the most powerful, evil, nutcase woman on the planet, Bellatrix Lestrange. And it's Bellatrix, and when Bellatrix is trying to kill Harry, and that she throws that knife, right? It is Dobby who takes the knife for Harry. And so Harry and Ron and Hermione have to figure out how to carry Dobby in their hearts with them as they begin to grow and be more brave and take on Voldemort. So Harry, it's not always joy, but it is essential to understand the love that's there and how that relates to family. I would argue that part of Harry, the real sort of one of the lessons from it, is that family can be friends you choose for yourself when your family is not with you. When your family has died, when your family is away in a different part. But it shows that what happens when you risk yourselves to care, you risk yourselves to dream, and you risk yourselves to actually do what you want to see happen. It's like the Parkland kids. You know, it's no reason that the students of Parkland in Florida say that we are the Harry Potter generation. I mean, I have a pair of socks that I wore yesterday that says, Emma Gonzales is my Patronus. Okay, I'm 67 years old. Emma Gonzales is 18. I am saying Emma Gonzales is a leader that makes me strong and brave and gives me courage, and I will have her back. That is the principle of Harry. So how does this work in different ways? Where is my time turner? Whoops. Did it fall down? Somewhere I have a time turner that was right here. You know where it went? Okay. Okay, so you're going to imagine, since we're talking about imagine, we're going to imagine that I have a time turner in my hand. Do you know what I'm talking about? That long necklace that McGonagall gave Hermione? Okay, well, time turners flip backwards, so that you can go back and revisit time. I want you to think about a time turner going forward. I want to think about, we're going to flip this thing, and you're going to be 30. And you're going to be 25. And you're going to be 50. And you're going to be 80. Well, you're right in front of me, and you got on a blue shirt, and it's shining on you, so I just picked on you, American Eagle. Okay. So, but I want you to think about what you want your life to be like then. And I want you to think about what it will take to do that. Not just for you, and not just for your neighbor, and not just for the people that you know, but for the people of the world. What happens, because it will happen, when the Death Eaters come back? What are you going to do? Are you going to not do anything and sit and let the Death Eaters take over the ministry? And let the Death Eaters arrest all of the non-wizard born? What are you going to do? Well, I hope you'll fight back. But what I hope you will also do is understand that you have a fundamental choice to act or not, to feel or not, to empathize or not. And J.K. Rowling would say that those who do not empathize, those who have no empathy, are the worst kind of monsters. Somebody okay? It's fine? Okay. That could be me. So, I mean, that just... Okay. So, what do you guys think? I mean, this morning I was cracking jokes all morning. Now my serious gene, no pun intended, has started taking over. So do you just think I'm making this stuff up? No. Okay, so tell me, what did you learn from Harry? Teach me. What's your favorite scene in the book or the movie? Other than when Hermione slugs Draco. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. Okay. When it's in Goblet of Fire, and Harry's under the water, and he's got to decide whether to save Ron or Hermione. Okay, give me another one. Yeah. When Dobby got his sock. Dobby is a free elf. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys, with the sock? Okay. Yeah. When Harry got his wand. Okay, we have sock, wand, water. Give me another one. When Molly Weasley just beats the stuffing out of Bellatrix. That is a totally awesome scene. Okay, what else? Huh? Okay, the wedding scene. Okay, so I'm going to try really hard to weave these 5 things together. Okay? Sometimes in a crisis, like when you're underwater and you have your fins are beginning to close and your 2 best friends are tied and they're going to drown, and the mermaids, whatever, I forgot what they're called, the mer people will only let you save one. And you try to save both. Okay? That is a huge choice. But what it says is that you really have to figure out not which one you love the most, but how you can do that and come back and fix the rest. Okay? Dobby sock. Dobby has helped Harry, Ron, and Hermione enormously. He's been beaten. And Harry has humiliated, Harry's won. You know, Harry has destroyed one Horcrux. And Lucius Malfoy, you know, what am I going to say? What can I say on camera that won't get me in trouble about Lucius Malfoy? The most stuck-up, arrogant, racist, horses patootie that you can possibly imagine, who dyed his hair so white that he looks like the peroxide bottle fell on it. You know, and has a son who has the spine of a wet noodle and is trying to figure out how to be what he thinks he should be, even though that's wrong. Do you think that's a fair assessment of Lucius Malfoy? So he is certainly not going to free Dobby. He's like beating Dobby as Dobby's walking down the hallway. So what does Harry do? He makes another choice. He takes his sock off, he puts it in the book, and he throws it to Dobby. And he says to Dobby, open the book. And if someone who was not a house elf master gave the house elf a piece of clothing, what happens to the house elf? It becomes free. Dobby is a free elf. And so Harry makes the choice to free Dobby. Dobby makes the choice to embrace freedom and become the Dobby that we all love. Okay? The wedding. Is that next? Okay. So in the wedding, once again, it's about choices. Because Harry, Ron, and Hermione have all decided that they are not going back to school. They are not going back to Hogwarts. That, in fact, they are going to find the rest of the Horcruxes, and Harry is going to stand up to Voldemort. And what does Hermione say to him? Harry, you really are thick. You know, you're just thick. And I love the way Emma Watson says thick. You know, she says, if you think that you can do this without us, you may be brave, but you are really stupid. Okay. And so the 3 of them come together to make a choice to celebrate the love of their family and go out and protect their family. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've done water, we've done sock, we've done wedding. I forgot the other 2. Wand. Okay, wand. Okay. So, the wand chooses the wizard. It too is about choice. And so they come in, and, you know, and Harry goes into Ollivander's, and he's trying out all these wands, you know, and they all come flying out, and they fall off the shelves, and Ollivander's hair goes back like he's standing in front of a jet engine, you know, and he pulls this other one. And he pulls the wand out, and the wand's brother wand, the feather was split in two. And the feather went into two wands. One that's Harry's and the other belongs to Voldemort. Okay? So the choice that Harry has with this is, will he give in and be like Voldemort and try to co-rule, or will he resist and really fight, just like his heart being torn apart, to stay with his friends and to stay with his community? He's going to lead. Is he going to lead with Voldemort, or is he going to lead with all of his other friends? And so once again, it's all about choices. And it's also about rights and responsibilities. We all have the right to go to school. Be homeschooled, public school, private school, we all have that fundamental right. We all have the right to say to me, Allida, this is the biggest waste of time that I have had all semester. You know, why did you come up here? I want to go home and either play video games, go back to class, shoot hoops, play hockey, whatever, but I want out of here. You got that choice, okay? But what you also have is a responsibility to one another. And that's all Hogwarts is responsibility to one another. Think about Snape. Think about how the responsibility that Snape felt for Harry, even though he couldn't stand him, right? He couldn't stand Harry, but he loved Lily, so he promised Lily, so he's going to take care of Harry. Look at Hagrid and Buckbeak. You know, look at Hagrid and Aragog. You know, the gigantic spider that's like 3 stories tall. Think about Hermione trying to help Ron through exams. You know, they're all choices. And so with choices, you know, it's not like you just decide and walk away. You know, you can decide, okay, well, we should create Dumbledores Army. You know, if the Ministry of Magic is not going to listen to us, we got to do something because we know what's happening and it's coming. So we come together and we make those decisions and we work together and we learn from each other. We have the right to be together, but we have the responsibility to be an army, to be a team, to be a house, to be an order. Whether it's the Order of the Phoenix, whether it's Dumbledore's Army, whether it's Slytherin, Ravenclaw, or Hufflepuff. When Hogwarts is attacked, it's everybody together, right? I mean, it's McGonagall summoning down, you know, taking her wand up and bringing all of those stone warriors from the top of the castles down to help fight. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. And then I have to tell you the scene in the book that made me laugh so hard I almost wet my pants. Now, granted, I was reading it at 4 o'clock in the morning, but the scene where McGonagall turned all of your school desks into battlefronts, and they're all running down the hallway behind her, and she's like, charge, charge! And all the school desks of Hogwarts come out to, you know, to create barriers for all of the Death Eaters that are trying to penetrate Hogwarts. So it's being creative. It's saying, not on my watch. It's the ability to look at people who are different from you but see sameness. It's the ability to think of people who have different lives from you, who may be in totally different mindsets, but help have empathy. It's the ability, if you run away, to come back. Which brings me to Ron. Okay. In Deathly Hallows, Ron, who is always the weaker of the three, the more emotional, the more susceptible, has to wear the Horcrux, right, the locket. And it makes him even sadder and sadder and more jealous, and he gets to be a poor, pitiful, pouty pimple. And so what does he do? He runs away. And he leaves Harry and Hermione in the most dangerous time of their friendship. But he comes back. He comes back. And he comes back in a way that is honest and brave and bold. And they are all three together again. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. That doesn't mean you have to be, a Medal of Honor, Quidditch winning, seeker and the greatest wizard of your age. It means that you have to care enough and trust yourself enough to come back from mistakes, especially if those mistakes really put people at risk. And so the glory about Ron coming back is not only that, but by coming back, what does Ron do? Does Ron have to jump in that frozen pond? Who saves Harry's life when Harry's trying to go down to get the sword of Gryffindor? Ron. Okay? And Ron has run away and come back. But what he's done is he came back the next day. He just couldn't get in, so he kept trying to follow him around, right? Persistence. He did not give up. He owned up to that part of his gut, that was, let's say, not up to standard, and wouldn't leave again. And in the process, he comes back in time to save his best friend's life. And what else did he do with the sword? He kills the Horcrux. Okay? So Ron, even though he was afraid, got really jealous, ran away, came back, and he is welcomed back after Hermione, does this to him 50 times. But, it's the ability to see each of us for who we are and what we can do and what is required of us to be good friends, good students, and to face what we have to face in order for life to get better. And that's really what human rights are. That's the magic of it. The magic of it is not this great law that was passed. The magic of it is the intent. It's the ability to say, we can figure out how we can get along, even if we can't stand each other. But we can step back for a few minutes and think about what's going on in somebody else's head, rather than just saying, you're a total and complete jerk and I never want to see you again, be gone, It's the ability to say, this is what I want the world to be. It's the ability to capture that moment of joy and make it your Patronus. It's the ability to take that joy, that hope, and make it brave. It's the ability to take that bravery and build a new, better, more magical, more imaginative, more welcoming world. Does that make sense? So, what we've got is I want to leave you with one thing, and then I'll take any questions that you want. Okay? I've never done this before, You're my guinea pig. Okay? I want you to think about the one thing in the world that either scares you or that you want to fix. It's your choice. Okay? I want you to have that right here, right dead center in your brain. Okay? Then I want you to think here of what gives you the greatest joy in the world and summon that both at the same time. Okay? I want you to stand up. Stand up. Okay, you got it here? You got it here? 1, 2, 3, one's at the ready. Expecto Patronum. Honey, that was the most lame high school thing I have ever heard in my life. We are doing a retake. Okay? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Expecto Patronum. Well done. Okay, so ask me questions. If you don't, I'm going to run up and down the stairs and embarrass you. And I'm taking my robe off, so get ready. Okay, got one. What's your question? Huh? I am absolutely a Gryffindor. Do you have any doubt? No. Okay, I was just being obnoxious. Okay. Any other? Come on. What? Huh?
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, if you could go back and kill baby Hitler, would you go back and kill baby Hitler? Because you talk about empathizing and the choices that you make.
That's a really good question. If I could go back in time, I don't know what I would do, but what I would hope with all that I am is that I would put him in a place where nobody would ever see him again.
But what if you could change him, like help him grow into a better person?
Well, I believe in the power of redemption. I believe that people can change. I've seen child soldiers change. I would put him in a vault under the ground. I would take him to the International Criminal Court, try him, crimes against humanity.
But he's just a baby.
You can't judge people by what they are as a baby. You can't do that. That's just nuts. It's a false hypothetical. Okay? I mean, it really is. The hypothetical is, what do you do to stop it once the action starts? You can't write the script before it starts. Otherwise, we would all be under the jail. How many thoughts have you had of, man, I'm just gonna, Or how many times you're driving and somebody cuts right in front of you and you just want to go, God, if I had a tank, You can't do that. Even the law in the United States and Dennis versus the U.S. that was ultimately overturned, thank God, said that thought does not equal action. Yeah, okay. So who's next? Yeah. What's your name? Mark? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Lamont. Okay, sorry, Lamont. I'm sorry? Wait a minute, y'all be quiet. I can't hear him. What? Do I think Madagascar should be what? A continent. I don't know enough. Okay? That's the most honest answer I can give you. Okay? Okay, but ask me, okay. Let's do it this way. Do you think this was worth your time? Yes. I mean, don't just tell me that. Be honest. Yes. Okay, so what do you want to tell me? What do you want me to know from you? I can't. Somebody's pointing to somebody, but in the back. I see a hand way in the back. I'm sorry, yeah. Sorry, the light's in my eye. Okay. Yell loud.
If you could ever be a Harry Potter character, would you be a leader or follower?
I want to be Hermione Granger with every fiber of my body. Anybody else? Wait a minute. I got one for you. I'm coming, but I got one for you. Who would you be?
Harry Potter.
Woo! All right, that's cool. Okay, who's up here? I see you with your hand up all the way in the back. I can't hear you, honey. You're going to have to yell.
What's your favorite Harry Potter movie?
Oh, that's hard. Okay, I love book 3. Book 3 is my absolute favorite. And then book 7. I'd say, I have a very emotional attachment to the first one, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I love the third one, and I love 7 Part 2. And I also like Order of the Phoenix. I like all of them, but those are my favorite. Yeah, what's yours? Wait. What's yours? What's your favorite movie? Deathly Hallows? 1 or 2 or both? Okay. I see you, yeah. Wait, I can't hear. Who is my favorite? Hermione. I have to say, I love Hermione. I love Hagrid. And I really, 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 really like Remus Lupin. Okay? Yeah. I can't hear you guys. Wait a minute, just a second. What? Yell. If I still didn't hear you, I'm sorry. If I could be,
If you could be a dorm leader.
oh, McGonagall. I mean, really, you know, you get to control the Quidditch team. You get to control the school. You have the wand power to turn all those statues into warriors. Not to mention give you all detention. I mean, McGonagall, man. Okay. Yeah.
Throughout your presentation, you discussed the power of empathy and compassion.
Uh-huh.
With empathy and compassion comes kindness, and you related that back to how Harry was with his friends and how they both, all 3 of them worked together to defeat the evil forces.
Uh-huh.
But with empathy and kindness, wouldn't you take that and instead of immediately fighting back, try to use those skills to see why they're doing it or justify their actions before you immediately try to go after them and hurt them?
They have spent years studying the Dark Lord. Think about all the time they spent in the forbidden section of the library. Think about all the experiences that they have had with them. I think your point is very well taken. You know, you don't just get pissed off at somebody and go after them. You know, but I would argue that the evidence for them was from here to Buffalo.
There's always a driving force behind why somebody does something.
Well, it's like,
That out and try to use compassion.
well, the perfect example of your question is Draco. You know, and Harry saves Draco. Remember when they're in the room of the requirements and everything starts burning? And Harry goes back to save Draco Malfoy, his arch enemy, I would say that's there. Okay? You and you and you. Okay, yes. Do I think Snape is? No. I think Snape is an amazing person. Yeah. Okay. Everybody know about Snape? Okay. You think Snape? Oh, I don't want to tell you that because the people who haven't read it, it'll ruin everything. Okay? Okay. Yeah.
So, how much would you pay to bring Dobby back to life?
I think you bring Dobby back to life in your heart. I think you carry Dobby with you wherever you go. I don't think you can buy a life. Thank you all.